Hi everybody, so it is Monday evening. Welcome to another week of meals on the family seesaw. Starting the week off with kind of a cheats risotto really. So this is a chicken and chorizo risotto. I just took some chorizo. Now I normally buy the like chorizo sausage, that kind of looks like a sausage and then chop it up. I couldn't find any of that anywhere this weekend. All I could find was the sliced chorizo, which is not really ideal when you're cooking with it. But hey ho, I wanted that flavour, and so I made it work. I just cut it into small pieces. So I put the chorizo with an onion, a couple of chicken breasts, which I just chopped up, into a pan. I didn't add any oil because the chorizo does release some oil. Just let that all cook together until the chicken was brown. Oh, and a little bit of minced garlic as well. Let that all cook together until the chicken was kind of almost cooked. Then I added to it some halved cherry tomatoes, a couple of roasted red peppers from a jar, which I chopped up small, and then what was left in the package of a pack of frozen peas, so a couple of handfuls of frozen peas. Just put that all together. Added in 200 grams of arborio rice, which is the risotto rice. Gave it a stir to just sort of work the rice through the mixture. And then added a litre of chicken stock, brought it up to a boil, put the lid on and just let the pan sizzle away for about 25 minutes it took. Just keep an eye on it after about 15 to 20 minutes, but it should absorb most of the liquid. If it doesn't, if you get to kind of 25 minutes and there's still a lot of liquid in the pan, just let it bubble for a few minutes with the lid off, and that will that should get the rest of the liquid absorbed. Then when that was all done, I stirred through a couple of big spoonfuls of low-fat cream cheese, a little bit, I haven't added any salt because I've used chicken stock, but pepper, and just stirred it all together. So again, it's one of those dishes that, unless you sprinkle nice fresh herbs over the top or something, it's hard to make it look particularly appealing on the plate, but really tasty because it's got that chorizo giving it lots of nice kind of undertones of heat. And then you've got all the vegetables in there, the chicken stock and the cream cheese gives it the nice creaminess, and the little kind of soft pieces of the risotto rice. You could use regular rice for this if you didn't want to buy risotto rice especially for it. It would actually, cooking it this way, it would work out about the same, but it would obviously be a very different style of dish in terms of the look and taste of it, or the look and texture of it. So if I just go over here to the pan, that's the rest of the risotto, all ready for serving up. And I think any of these things that look kind of beigey with lots of pieces of vegetables in are hard to look appealing on a plate. I just, we eat with our eyes somewhat. But actually, I don't ever let that put me off anything, because if it tastes good and it smells good, then I'm okay with it. But yeah, so that's our start to this week. A chicken and chorizo risotto, or sort of risotto, because it was the cheats version where you just let it all cook together. I also sometimes do this letting it cook in the oven in much the same way. So you can do it without having to stand and stir until your arm drops off to make a half decent risotto. It wouldn't pass the Gordon Ramsay test probably, but it works for our family, and that's all that really matters to me on a busy Monday night. So off to enjoy this chicken and chorizo risotto. Hi everybody, so it is Wednesday evening. I've had a bit of a topsy-turvy evening. Caleb hurt his foot at school today, so we've been to the minor injuries unit just to get it checked. They think it is just a pulled ligament, not a break or a sprain or anything like that. So hopefully it will heal quite quickly, but no sport this weekend. So another weekend of no sport, even though we were hoping to be back on the pitch this weekend with the weather sorting itself out a little bit. So for dinner tonight, we've got a pizza pasta bake. It's just a simple pasta bake that you can make with any of your favourite pizza toppings. So I've got pasta with passata, I've got some onion, bacon and some pineapple. Onion and bacon I just cooked in a pan and then stirred that through the cooked pasta with pineapple and a carton of passata and some seasonings. I used garlic granules, black pepper and some mixed herbs. And then I dotted the top with some torn pieces of a mozzarella ball, and then sprinkled just a little bit of cheddar to give it a cheesy topping. So that is the pan of pasta bake. But again, pasta bake's such a versatile thing. You can use all kinds of things to make a good pasta bake. And this one is a pizza pasta. So that's our Wednesday night supper. Hi everybody, so it's Thursday evening and tonight we're having Cowboy Pie, which is a bit like shepherd's pie but it's got baked beans in it and some slightly different seasonings than an original shepherd's pie, and then I've got red Leicester cheese on the top, although you could use normal cheddar cheese, grated cheddar cheese for the top. So the inside I've just got pork mince, which I just happened to be what I had. But you could definitely use any mince that you prefer, and I browned that with a chopped onion, a couple of chopped carrots and a couple of chopped red peppers. And then once that was all cooked together, probably about 10 minutes, I added in a couple of tablespoons, a couple of good squirts of tomato puree, a couple of teaspoons of oregano and a little bit of black pepper. Mix that all together, just let it all kind of combine. Then I added a can of chopped tomatoes and probably about 250 mils of water, and then just let that simmer away for about 20 minutes. Stirred in a can of baked beans and then popped it into the casserole dish and topped it with mashed potato, which I've mashed some parsley into as well, so parsley potatoes, and then sprinkled over, as I said, it happened to be red Leicester cheese, but you could use any cheese. And then it went into a 200-degree oven for about 20 minutes to let it all bubble up. You can see the sauce all bubbling up around the edges there, and then the bubbly cheese on the top of that. So really comfort food, warming. It's got plenty of veggies in it with tomatoes, onions, carrots, peppers and the baked beans. So I'm not going to serve additional veg on the side, although you definitely could have a green veg of some kind or mixed vegetables on the side with this if you wanted extra veg. But I'm just really looking forward to this. I've been to weigh in tonight. I lost 1.5 pounds this week. So really glad to be a little bit back on track. Had a couple of wobbly weeks, but they were absolutely fine. I didn't go too far off. I had a maintaining week and then I had a slight gain last week. I think it was either 1 pound or 1.5 pounds. And then I've lost that this week. So sometimes when you're on that journey, you just have those wobbly weeks in the middle. And you just have to sort of put them behind you and carry on. So looking forward to this tonight for a cold, chilly Thursday night. Hi everybody, so it's Saturday evening and tonight we've got something a bit different. It's a chicken and rice parcel. So it's a lot simpler than it probably looks. I just made a basic dough with 300 grams of plain flour, a small sachet of active yeast, of dry yeast, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Mixed that together, added 180 mils of warm water and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Brought it all together into a dough and then kneaded it for 5 minutes and just left it to the side while I made the filling. I then used only about 75 grams of paella rice, which I just cooked for about 10 minutes in boiling water and then rinsed and left to drain. And then I had a whole chicken that I'd cooked, and I shredded up about 250 grams of the chicken. And then in a pan with a little bit of oil, I cooked a red onion, a chopped green chili pepper, and a chopped red pepper, not chili, just a red bell pepper. Let that all cook together until the vegetables were soft. Then I added in some paprika, some smoked paprika actually, and a couple of chopped tomatoes. Now I didn't want to use a can of chopped tomatoes because I didn't want the filling juicy. I just wanted it to be, you know, quite a firm filling. So I put the tomatoes in, combined that all together, added the chicken back in, and let it just all cook together, to all flavour together for, I don't know, about 10 minutes, something like that. Then I stirred in the rice to make the filling. I rolled out the dough onto some greaseproof paper into a nice big circle, and then I filled the middle with the rice and chicken mixture, which had cooled off by then. I pulled the edges over into the middle, brushed the top with egg, sprinkled over some mozzarella cheese, and baked it at a high oven. So it was about 200 fan, just over 200 fan, and that took about 20 minutes. And then we've cut it with a pizza cutter. So you've got almost like a pizza dough on the bottom, and then a dough on the top with the filling in the middle and the cheesy crust. So that is, so you can see the remainder of that in there. Just really, I'm really looking forward to this. It's a different way. I use that dough for a number of different things. I use it to make individual pizzas, and you don't have to leave it to rest and prove and all of that, but you still get the nice doughy, bready taste. You can see it is quite soft, on the top here where it was folded over, so it's a bit thicker dough, and then the bottom, which was just a thin layer rolled out, is quite crispy. So looking forward to this. We just got it with simple salad for our a Saturday night supper. Hi everybody, so it's Sunday evening and tonight we've got something a little bit different for a Sunday dinner. Apple barbecue chicken with little roast new potatoes, some green beans and some sweet corn. So the chicken is really simple. It's just, you take 150 mils of this sparkling apple juice, which you can use apple Tizer, that's the Sainsbury's kind of cheaper version. 250 mils of that, 150 mils of barbecue sauce, tablespoon of brown sugar, mix that all together, pour half of it over some boneless skinless chicken thighs, which you then just cook, just marinate for as long as you want to really. And then get a roasting pan with a wire rack in it. Pour a little bit of boiling water in the bottom of the pan just so it's not kind of just dry. Put your chicken thighs onto the rack. Cook them for 10 minutes. Baste them with a little bit of the other half of the sauce. Cook them another 10 minutes and then take them off the rack and put them down in the pan. Pour the rest of the sauce over and cook for 10 more minutes at 200 degrees. And they are lovely and moist and they've got the apple barbecue-y flavour through. The new potatoes are just halved new potatoes done in the active fryer, and then I've just steamed some corn on the cob and some green beans to have alongside it, and I've poured a little of the sauce from the pan over the top of the chicken. So something a little bit different for us tonight for a Sunday dinner, but looking forward to this to finish out our weekend. So thank you for joining us for this week of meals, and we look forward to seeing you back here on the SeeSaw soon.